Taking it down to 3,000 here, Munster.
The slash 160 at night.
Mi-35M helicopter crash between Al-Rayhaniyah and Al-Qasimiyah, Al-Hasakah Governorate, Syria. A Russian Air Force Mi-35M helicopter made an emergency landing in Al-Hasakah Governorate after a technical malfunction. Some media report that the pilot died in the crash, but this was denied by Russian sources. American Champion 8 GCBC Scout plane crash landing today. Bankstown Airport, Australia. An American Champion 8 GCBC Scout landed nose down at Bankstown Airport. The pilot was not injured and the aircraft sustained minor damage. Eurocopter EC-120B Colibri helicopter crash. Morzine, France. Helicopter crash on takeoff. The helicopter crashed while taking off on the RD-902 route between Lagetz and Morzine. On board there were 5 people, including the pilot. 4 are intact and 1 is wounded. The road is currently closed. Cessna 210A Centurion plane crash landing. Ottawa County, Michigan, United States of America. The aircraft sustained substantial damage following an impact with trees and terrain. The sole pilot on board received apparent minor injuries. Robinson R22 Beta II helicopter crash near Aldays, Limpopo, South Africa. A Robinson R22 Beta II impacted the ground during an emergency landing. Led L410 UVPE, plane catastrophe. Piri, South Sudan. A lead L-410 aircraft operated by South Sudan Supreme Airlines crashed shortly after departure from Piri Airstrip, South Sudan. All 10 on board, 2 pilots and 8 passengers, have reportedly died. The aircraft operated on a flight to Uai and Juba. The South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority reported that one of the aircraft's engines failed about 10 minutes after takeoff. While turning back to Piri, the second engine is also reported to have failed. Ayres S-2R-T45 Turbo Thrush, plane crash news. Gilad, Israel. The airplane hit power lines and crashed. The pilot was lightly injured and walked to the helicopter ambulance. He was flown to hospital. Piper PA-31-350 Navajo Chieftain, emergency landing. Sergio Butron Casas, Chetumal, Mexico. The plane crash force landed in a field in Sergio Butron Casas under unknown circumstances. Cessna 180 Skywagon, plane catastrophe. Agropu airstrip, south of Alto Parana, Paraguay. A light plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Agropu airstrip, south of Alto Parana under unknown circumstances. Both occupants died in the crash. Wag Aero, plane crash landing news. Lake Barron, near Gore, Canada. A plane crashed at the ice-covered Lake Barron, near Gore, Quebec. The sole pilot sustained serious injuries which later proved fatal. Cessna 150J, emergency landing. San Joaquin County, Lodi, California, United States of America. Following a loss of engine power, the aircraft sustained substantial damage subsequent to an open-field forced landing. The 2 occupants on board the airplane were not injured. Cessna 172 grams Skyhawk, plane crash landing 2021. Near Sisters Eagle Airport, Oregon, United States of America. The aircraft clipped a tree and impacted rough, open-field terrain subsequent to an aborted landing attempt at Sisters Eagle Airport. One of the occupants was seriously injured. pilot on board the aircraft received minor injuries. Eurocopter AS-532 UL Cougar, helicopter catastrophe. Tatvan, Bitlis Province, Turkey. The Turkish military helicopter crashed on a hillside in Tatvan, Bitlis Province. 11 occupants died in the crash and 2 were injured. Bell 212, helicopter catastrophe. Mount Gardner, Bowen Island, Canada. The helicopter vertically impacted forest in Mount Gardner in Bowen Island, British Columbia after yawing through 360 degrees several times. The 2 people on board were uninjured. The helicopter was contracted to BC Hydro to help place some wooden structures for a transmission line replacement project on Halliburton Mountain. Airbus A320 incident. Jambi Sultan Toya Airport, Indonesia. Batik Air Flight Idaho 6803, an Airbus A320-214, could not retract the landing gear after takeoff from Jambi Airport. Upon landing, ATC informed the flight crew that some sparks were observed in the area of the nose gear wheels. Beechcraft 35 Bonanza, plane catastrophe. Near Palestine Municipal Airport, Palestine, Texas, United States of America. The aircraft sustained substantial damage upon impact with the terrain in Anderson County southeast of Palestine Municipal Airport. The passenger was killed and the pilot sustained serious injuries. Embraer EMB-711C Corisco, catastrophe near Fazenda Nova Esperança, Indianapolis, Brazil. A Embraer Corisco crashed after takeoff near Fazenda Nova Esperança, Indianapolis. 2 occupants died in the crash and 3 occupants were seriously injured. Viking DHC-6-400 Twin Otter, heavy landing. San Lorenzo Airport, Peru. A Viking DHC-6-400 Twin Otter of the Peruvian Air Force, operated by Group 042, veered off the runway while landing at San Lorenzo Airport in heavy rain. There were no fatalities and the aircraft sustained minor damage. Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-29MU1 incident. Vasilkov Aviation Base, Ukraine. Fighter aircraft, operated by the 40th Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force, was damaged and partially destroyed at the Vasilkov Aviation Base. The car crashed into the body of the plane. The driver, the officer, was in a state of drug or alcohol intoxication. Cessna 421B Golden Eagle, runway excursion. Macon County Airport, Franklin, North Carolina, United States of America. The aircraft experienced a runway overrun during a failed takeoff attempt at Macon County Airport. The airplane was partially consumed by fire and the 4 occupants on board were not injured. Antonov An-26, plane crash landing. Almaty Airport, Kazakhstan. A Kazakh border service Antonov An-26 crashed at Almaty Airport, killing 4 of the 6 occupants. The aircraft crashed about 600 meters short of the threshold of runway and burst into flames. Weather at the time of the accident was poor with overcast clouds at 300 feet, 91 meters, of visibility of 5 kilometers with light freezing drizzle and mist. Robinson R44 Raven II, helicopter crash. Rosh Hashanah, Israel. The helicopter crashed under unknown circumstances and came to rest on its side in Rosh Hashanah. 4 passengers received minor injuries. Bell 206B JetRanger, clipped power lines. Fresno County near Latin, California, United States of America. The helicopter clipped power lines and impacted the terrain during an aerial application flight near Latin. The helicopter was destroyed and the sole pilot on board was not injured. Beechcraft B36TC Bonanza, plane crash landing movie. Near North Perry Airport, Hollywood, Florida, United States of America. Following a loss of engine power, the aircraft impacted an occupied motor vehicle short of the runway during the attempted return to the point of departure at North Perry Airport. The airplane was destroyed by the impact and post-impact fire and the 2 occupants on board were fatally injured. The 2 occupants of the motor vehicle received serious injuries. One of those 2 vehicle occupants, a child, later succumbed to the injuries received. Cessna 177B Cardinal, plane crash landing near Berg-Feuerstein Airfield, Germany. A plane crashed when approaching Berg-Feuerstein Airfield in bad weather conditions, killing the pilot and sole occupant on board. Cessna 172S Skyhawk SP, plane crash news live. Near Bordeaux-Marignac Airport, Pessac, Gironde, France. Following a loss of engine power, the aircraft force landed to a field. It came to the rest inverted, sustaining substantial damage. The 2 people on board, a student and an instructor, were uninjured. Mi-17, shot down. Maidan Warda Province, Bessa District, Afghanistan. Just after takeoff, an Afghan Army Mi-17 helicopter was shot and crashed. All 9 occupants died in the crash. Airbus A320-232, landing gear collapsed. Licenciado Gustavo Diaz Ordaz International Airport, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Viva Aerobus Flight VB4343, an Airbus A320, suffered a nose landing gear collapse while making a 180 turn to line up for takeoff from runway. The aircraft was evacuated using the emergency slides. Hawker 900 XP, landing gear retracted. Moscow, Vnukovo Airport, Russia. The aircraft landed on runway at Moscow Vnukovo Airport with the left main landing gear retracted. There were 5 crew members on board, none of who were injured in the incident. Bell 206B JetRanger III, helicopter catastrophe. Sea off Xiamen City, Fujian Province, China. Helicopter crashed into the sea. There are 4 confirmed fatalities. AgustaWestland AW169, air incident. Bolzano Airport, Italy. Pilot lost directional control and fell on one side. No injuries are reported. Substantial damage is reported on the helicopter. The accident occurred because the pilot did not unlock the forward wheel and tried to begin taxi. Then he understood that the front wheel was blocked and he unlocked it. That caused the helicopter to veer to the left because of the thrust applied by the pilot and crash on the taxiway. Cessna T206H Stationair TC, plane catastrophe. Nishup Lagoon, Cancun, Quintana Roo, Mexico. The plane was destroyed when it stalled and impacted the waters of the Nishup Lagoon during a gender reveal stunt. There were 4 people on board. Both pilots were killed and the 2 surviving passengers sustained unspecified injuries.